Brodes Media.
What a day two. All right, because I thought what I'd be saying was Devontae Parker, and I'd have to try and convince the world that he's not as bad as everybody says he is. There are some out there that think that he can't do anything at all, which I disagree with, as a fifth option in an offense behind Barkley, the new shiny toy, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Yeah, I promise you, if he ends up being your third wide receiver, I'm not locking it in, but if you do draft someone and you want them to be the third wide receiver, Devontae ends up beating him out, I wouldn't be surprised, and he can do damage in that role, Be very clear, in that role, which is more along the lines of the other team's fourth best defender is on them, because you have to focus on not getting destroyed by A.J. Brown. And by the way, if you want to throw one of Devontae or A.J. Brown into the slot and have Devontae Parker line up outside, and there you have some versatility involved and creativity in an offense, do something different. Try and get a matchup for Devontae. Get the ball in his hands. Let him work with space. A.J. Brown, how about a little bit of some yards after the catch? I'm just spitballing. You can do something different, have some new beliefs, new concepts, and he's like last on your choices if you're Jalen Hurts here. I don't think that that's bad at all. The New England Patriots are taking the money. You're pretty much paying a veteran minimum as it is. Like, I can't believe some of the statements that I saw when the signing happened. You're putting expectations that he's a first-round draft pick and he's supposed to be a number one. No, he's not. And by the way, some of his offenses in New England sucked. It wasn't just with Brian, what's his damn name? Come on now. Bill O'Brien, okay? It's not just about the Bill O'Brien experience at all, but he also had to deal with a man named Matt Patricia being the offensive coordinator. At first, it was a combination of Joe frickin' Judge and Matt Patricia. All right, and Matt Patricia wins the job. A defensive-minded guy, defensive coordinator. Now he's your offensive coordinator. They made no sense whatsoever. I can't pretend like him in that offense being the number one is going to compare to playing with this type of skill level and how the field looks magic and looks completely different when that's the case. I thought I'd talk C.J. Gardner-Johnson first, but I prepared myself for that show, so I apologize. I just came out of the gates firing. I just decided let's start peppering you, and I have my back against the wall, and I'm going to say, hey, you know that one meme of, I forget who it is, if it's something famous and I can't even reference the original spot it's from, then I'm sorry, I apologize. But I think it's animated, and there's 15 swords in the guy's face, and it says, use this meme to defend somebody in sports that nobody else defends, or something like that. I feel I'm the one getting targeted for liking the idea of Devontae Parker for that type of salary as a third wide receiver. And, there's been a lot of talk about we need help in the locker room. I find it very weird that the agency's making statements about very professional. He's excited to go to Philadelphia and win a Super Bowl and help this team win a championship. It's not just somebody signing and then it's ho-hum, Adam Schefter with the original report, blah, blah, blah. No. This was from the agency. He's been in this league for years. He's only been on two teams in a long period of time. How many years is it total? I want to get the exact number. I feel like he is a professional. He can catch the football that's thrown to him. Don't bring up an example of he dropped one pass and then said something a little bit silly towards Mac Jones, I guess. I mean, I'm sure it's frustrating to deal with what he dealt with, but he's been in the league for 9 years now. 9 years. So he's going to be in his 10th season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, this will be his 10th season in the league. There's something to that, and I think that there's professionalism that can help in this room, along with Saquon Barkley. There's a lot of shoes to fill from leadership levels, and I like this one. All right, I like this Devontae Parker one a lot more than a lot of people. The biggest confusion here is going to be the spelling between him and Devontae Smith. I'm just saying, we're going to get that wrong all the damn time like we get a lot lot of things wrong. I'm excited for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Let's open the show now, 6 minutes in, when I should have led with this. Here we have C.J. Gardner-Johnson back in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. All the beat reporters are talking about, all right, it'll be interesting to see how the contract is written out and what are the incentives. And they weren't willing to spend 1 year and $8 million on him previously. Why are they throwing around this type of money? Well, it's got to be structured a certain way. He was banged up in Detroit. It's not as if he played a ton of games. But I'll tell you what he brings that this team desperately lacked. A playmaker. A guy willing to go catch a damn football and snag an interception. Does it come with some noise and some loud personality stuff? It does, but I've seen this defense without it. Look, I keep it consistent. I get annoyed by A.J. Brown and Darius Slay, but if you actually utilize your eardrums and listen when I speak, I say I want them here. I'll deal with it, and I'll complain about it, but I'll deal with it knowing that the better play on the field is worth dealing with those level of personalities. Bring it on. All right, I know that there's going to be a time where maybe I don't like something that C.J. Gardner-Johnson does on the sideline, this and that, whatever, and I'll point it out, but I want him compared to not having him because last year's defense had no soul, they had no personality, and he brings that to this. He brings that element. All right, he's got that cockiness, that arrogance. Bring it on, baby, and you got to be wired differently. Jason Kelsey said it before, and I think that C.J. Gardner-Johnson sort of describes that. He is wired differently. He can handle the criticism, handle the wildness, handle all the talking points and all that stuff, and here we go. We're about to experience it again from a C.J. Gardner-Johnson level, and I'm stoked. And I thought it was very interesting that the way Adam Schefter reported it was this: safety/nickel That's not what he said, because then he'd be doing a horrendous job like me. What was really stated was C.J. Gardner-Johnson, safety/nickel, is returning to the Philadelphia Eagles. Why'd he throw nickel in there? Where's he getting his information? I know, one Howie Roseman. What does Howie Roseman say? I'll tell you exactly what Adam Schefter tweets. So Adam Schefter tweeted what Howie Roseman told him to say, and then I see a few people nationally put DB out there. There's reasons why. Because at one time, he was able to play nickel, and then he was able to play safety, and we saw him here at safety, but with the Avonte Maddox news, and you're still trying to figure out what you're doing there, well, now you can put C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the field in different areas and then maybe apply a safety. Okay, I know it's not going to be Justin Simmons. I'm messing around on Twitter when I said, hey, look at the wording, all right, with the eye-popping emoji. Don't rule it out. Why did they say nickel? But no, I don't expect it to be Justin Simmons, and they're going to do something in the slot, I believe, and primarily view C.J. Gardner-Johnson as a safety. It's just an option if need be. You never know what can happen. They may bring back Avonte Maddox at a lower hit and a lower rate and different financially and have him be that number one guy, and then have a backup plan, which is move C.J. Gardner-Johnson into the nickel and then have something that you can slide in at safety, or just have somebody who can go behind Avonte Maddox and keep C.J. Gardner-Johnson at safety. I just think that they absolutely valued that and thought about the idea of multiple different positions for a team that has so many different problems. Where is this free agency going to fall? Well, maybe there is a safety they can get. Josina Anderson's talking linebacker. The Philadelphia Eagles are in on the linebacker market. Well, I hope so, because deep down, they're going to try and throw Nakobe Dean down our throat that he's this special linebacker to work with. They're not going to change the philosophy there. It's in their blood to stay away from linebacker. There are previous examples of willing to open up your checkbook for a LaShawn McCoy, for some of running backs that you believe in. Christian McCaffrey, for example, was almost a part of the Eagles organization for a reason, because they thought that he put you in a whole different atmosphere, and now they view Saquon Barkley very similar, but you won't find them going against what they truly believe in deep down at linebacker. You can, it's rare, but you can see it with running back. Linebacker, not so much.